Welcome to another edition of the Chief Audit Executive Briefing. Hey, everybody. For those of you in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. This is one of our long holiday weekends here towards the end of the year. Now, at this time of the year, it's a great time to just kind of stop and feel grateful, and also to start reflecting on what you were able to accomplish this last year and what you want to accomplish this next year. For many of you, this is kind of the annual audit planning time as well. And so I know you're right in the thick of everything. And of course, along with all of that, I have a whole stack of holiday cards here that my wife has me filling out to be able to send out. Because here's the deal, right? It's actually the first part of December already. There's only 1 month left this year, and I cannot believe how fast it has actually gone. But I'm so grateful to you and to everything that I actually have in this life. I'm grateful that you show up each week and actually that we can communicate this way. And yeah. Now, a couple things for this week for you. One of the things that I would really suggest that you do, if you are not already doing it, is just stop and take some time to express gratitude to your employees. Now, you don't want to do it all at once, because just like, these little holiday cards, I have mixed feelings about them, because, a lot of times it's like I receive cards from people and they never really think about me the rest of the year. I'm grateful that they think about me, but because they show up at Christmas time, it makes me wonder a little bit. So here's a little trick for you, right? Again, especially if you're in the US, we just had Thanksgiving. So sometime in December, just randomly pick a few of your employees and actually express gratitude to them. Send them an email, actually handwrite them a card, do something that's a little bit out of the ordinary, and at not one of those times when they're necessarily expecting it, and it goes a long way. Because here's the deal. One of the things that employees kind of complain about the most, or that they want at work that they're not getting, is simply for their boss to express gratitude to them and appreciate the work that they're doing. So a very, very small act like that can actually make a huge impact. And really develop the relationship with your employees. Now, I remember, one time I received just a little handwritten note. It was just on a little kind of 3x5 card, and my CEO's name was Larry. And so at the top of this note was, a note from Larry. And all he wrote on it was, "Jason, you did a great job on the last audit. Keep it up," and signed it Larry. And he sent that to me in interoffice mail. Now, I got to tell you how excited I was when I actually received it. I think I still have it in my files close to 20 years ago out in my garage. I could probably still pull out that card that Larry wrote. So what I'm telling you is it has a big impact on your employees. Take the couple of minutes to actually do it. Now, this week, I also want to talk about Mr. Rogers as well. So I am a big Mr. Rogers nerd. In fact, my wife, Allie, got me this little Mr. Rogers figurine because there's the movie coming out. And listen to this. Watch this.
Doesn't it feel good when you're just about to do something that you know is wrong and you decide to do something?
So I actually have a little Mr. Rogers on my desk that I can get the little inspiration from. Now, as a kid, growing up, I loved Mr. Rogers. I loved the way that he made me feel, and some of the messages about, you're good enough and you're perfect just the way you are. And I know a lot of times as executives, excuse me, when we have a lot of stress and other things going on, and sometimes people are saying things about you that are not the nicest thing. That's one of the reasons why I like to think about Mr. Rogers. Because I'm here to tell you as well, you're good enough and you're perfect exactly the way that you are, and you're lovable as well. And so, kind of remember the words of Mr. Rogers. The reason I'm bringing it up too, there's a new Mr. Rogers movie, A Wonderful Day in the Neighborhood. where Tom Hanks is actually playing Fred Rogers in the movie. Now, I've always had this affinity for Mr. Rogers, and here's maybe why, even though I didn't realize until this last week. A friend of mine was actually found something online about the movie, and the article said that Tom Hanks and Fred Rogers are actually related, that they have the same common ancestor. And so when my friend read this, she sent me a social media message and said, "Hey, Jason, it says that Fred Rogers and Tom Hanks are related, and they're related to some guy named Mefford. Is he related to you?" And so I went back and looked, and actually Johannes Mefford, my ancestor that came over from Germany in the 1750s, where I get my family name from, we're all related. So Johannes Mefford, Fred, and down the line to Fred Rogers, and even Tom Hanks, that we're actually all related through the same ancestor back at that time. So that just made me feel really good. And again, I told you I'm a little bit of a Mr. Rogers nerd. Anyway, okay, probably enough about that. Now, the last thing, because it is the end of the year as well, I just wanted to make sure and put this out there for anybody. I'm going to be having 2 new executive coaching slots open up this next year. So if this is something that you would be interested in actually having some one-on-one coaching from me, then just click on the link down below to be able to set up an appointment. We can have a short discussion, see what you're actually dealing with, and whether or not this would be a good fit for you. So as again, I said, there's only going to be 2 slots opening up. So if you're interested in trying to qualify for one of those slots, sign up for an appointment. We can talk and we can go from there. So with that, my friends, hope you had a blessed weekend, and good luck, and have a great rest of your week. And I'll talk to you next week.